Yetta, do you want to stretch?
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
For over 30 years, I've been stretching with you. No, for over 30 years, we've enjoyed coming alongside you, both with buying and selling real estate, insider tips, building wealth, and even strengthening, healing, and flourishing relationships, and building our faith, and even building our fun.
Yeah, but no, I was serious. Do you want to stretch?
Well, I am a little stiff.
Not that kind of stretch.
Well, you said, do I want to stretch?
I know, but stretch, like stretch your mind, stretch your life, grow, that kind of stretch.
Yes, I do want to do that too. So in this episode, what we're going to learn is how to stretch inside our relationships, those that we choose to bring into our life. How do they stretch us versus stressing us? We don't need to stress ourselves out growing and improving and shifting things and becoming even better. And yet a stretch can feel really, really good.
Yes. Don't stress. Stretch.
Exactly.
So you actually stressed one time. Let's talk about that story. That
I've
little
stressed
story, honey.
before?
You stressed because you called somebody.
I did. Oh my goodness. Okay. Have you ever?
Robert Rome.
Right. And Dr. Robert Rome was not only a PhD, not only a theologian, not only a pastor, not only a principal, he was the owner of a business called Personality Insights for like 30 years. So basically, the title I would give him was communicator extraordinaire. That's what he did for a living for only at that point, maybe 45 years.
That's it, eh? Just a beginner.
Just a beginner. And Yetta, in a moment of losing her mind, forgetting who she was speaking to, read one of his podcasts. I loved his tips. He would do tons of tips, and I had books of his tips, and I had met him, but I'm sure he didn't remember who I was, but I certainly remembered him. He was going to remember me. So I decided when I read this one article, he used the word that just slipped out of my mouth a second ago, and then I shifted it real quick because it's
but with one T.
Right. But with one T. And in his article, he had used the word but probably 3 times. And by the time he'd used the second one, I couldn't read the thing anymore, even though it was amazing content. So I thought I'd let him know that maybe we needed to have a conversation and check out his use of the English language. Right. After I sent it, and I asked for the email, I sent the email. And I had his email address because I had actually met him and done a course with him several years earlier, a couple of courses.
So you asked for a phone call.
Right. Course. Asked for a phone call so I could straighten him out. Right? Isn't that what all smart humans do? No, not the smart ones. So anyway, sent the email, promptly forgot because I was probably in a state of shock that I'd actually just done the thing. Well, he replied. And he said, sure, Yetta, let's have a conversation. Well, I called Ken.
I was in California. You called me in a panic.
I was fit to be tied.
What do I say now? I blew it.
Like, who does that? Like, who? Seriously. So Ken was very good. He didn't say, you're right. Who on earth does such a foolish, dumb thing? He actually said, well, you know how you've been looking for a mentor in relation to developing some of your human interpersonal skills, because it's not what I was saying that was getting me into trouble. It was how I was saying it. And so Dr. Robert Rome could be a value in that area. And we were also looking for couples that were into leadership and growth that could come into our life. Mm-hmm. And so Ken said, well, what if you ask him instead, in the process, still have the conversation you set out to have, ask him if he would be willing to meet with you and begin potentially a mentoring relationship.
Yeah, actually, I said, would he have lunch with us? He lives in Atlanta, and we would fly down to Atlanta to have lunch with him.
Right. So that's what you suggested I do.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward a few days and I am fit to be tied. I can't string 2 words together. I can't certainly put a sentence together. I'm in the bathroom 6 times before the phone call. I'm sweating. I'm not glistening anymore. I am sweating. My whole team is thinking, what is wrong with her? Because I really thought, what have I done? Like, what is wrong with me that I would call out somebody that could school me all day, every day about English? I mean, remember, English isn't even my first language. Almost failed grade 1, so I got a lot of dialogue going on in my head. So finally, the phone call comes. And he is the most gracious, amazing guy ever. We have a great conversation.
Well, come on. Let's tell the truth. Your conversation must have been so distorted and broken up that he said to you at the end of the conversation, now let me get this straight. You would like to mentor me. Not the other way around.
Yeah. So, okay, it wasn't maybe a great conversation. He did take some notes, though. So what he showed me was how to be a learner, like how to be an amazing learner in every situation. He didn't look at me and think, who the heck are you? Who do you think you are? He actually was taking notes as we were communicating, even if it was in broken English.
Yeah. So what was hilarious is, really, that started a beautiful relationship. We went down, we had lunch with them. We actually spoke on a panel about disc and marriage. And
at his conference.
And then
at different times.
And then we got invited to his church because not only does he run a full-time business, he pastors a church. So we thought, okay.
No, he doesn't pastor at church.
Just a second. Don't ruin the story. So we go, and he goes, well, you can come to the first service or the second service. He goes, you probably want to come to the second service. And we thought, well, we've come all this way. We're going to go to both services. So we go to the first service, and it's in this little, like 1900s, beautiful white chapel with the wooden pews and the sloped floor, and a little choir in the back, and there's maybe, 80, 100 people there, maybe not even that. And it's so quaint, and his message was lovely.
And personal and connected with each person. And
everybody said, oh, he even pointed us out. Loved when you point us out in the crowd, right? So, at any rate, we figure, okay, we're going to stay here for the next service. He goes, no, the next service is across the street. And I look across the street, and I think, that looks like a high school. It was huge, this huge building. Oh, you're talking in the high school? He goes, no, that's our church. So the second service is in the expansion at the campus. We walk into one room, it's huge. And he goes, well, this is where the youth hear their service. And then we walk into another auditorium, and it's like a 3,000-seat auditorium. And he gives the next sermon, same topic, different flavor. It was amazing.
We watched an effective communicator and then some in Technicolor in 2 totally different environments. And so why are we sharing this story like for a whole big chunk of time? Because your role models actually change your life. Like, even if it's embarrassing, we can learn to step through those things and choose wisely who we want. So who are you going to choose in this coming season to help you move forward in the way in which you know you want to?
Yes, and we're honored to be your advocates on this journey because we're passionate about helping people in their lives, their businesses, and their relationships.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker